Yo, we have another video, and this time it's about Kimora Lee Simmons. This is a woman that she dropped the ball. I remember hearing about Russell Simmons. This is old. I'm very old. I remember going to the Def Jam website, and the first thing you see side by side, you see Def Jam, and you saw Fat Farm. This is maybe early 2000, late 90, but 1999 2000. Oh, go, cause like there was no YouTube. If you want to know about Redman, Method Man, or your favorite artist Ludacris, you have to go on the Def Jam website to watch their videos. There was no YouTube Ludacris channel, no Method Man YouTube channel. It just didn't exist at that time, but the internet existed. So I would go there to watch my latest music videos. Well, you can watch it on MTV, but I didn't want to have to wait or record a music video on MTV or wait for MTV Yo Raps to play the latest music video. Yes, I'm that old. And yeah, that's what I always saw. Fat Farm. I kind of went off on the tangent there. Oh, Baby Fat Farm. One of those labels, yeah. So I thought, wow, these guys must. When I heard that they sold it for millions, I was like, wow. So Russell, he's set for life, right? And then he's set for life. Because I think like he sold some of his stock. He's out of Def Jam. He can retire. Look like the damn turtle he looks like, man. He looks like a damn turtle right now. Like a human Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Well, that's not the case.
Ex-husbands, friends.
Did you own enough of the business, given your contribution?
No, definitely not. And that was one.
See, this is a problem about black folks these days. And I say black folks, I'm looking at Diddy right now. Diddy. With his Ciroc. Because these guys and these guys, what they do, they shortcut things. Instead of actually making something from the ground up, they always have these partners. I understand people need partners. It kind of loosens the load of people when it comes to contribution of money. They don't have the capital to just go in there, but some of these guys do, and they're still lazy. And when things get to where they are and they get really big, they look and they're upset like, well, I only got this much. It's like, because you had partners. It reminds me of like with Diddy. Diddy built up the Ciroc brand and people thought it was his own. I was one of those people. The way he promoted it, it was like it was his. But it wasn't. It was never his. But he was like a part owner and he was like an ambassador. So, it's one of those things.
One of those things that I learned, and that's, live and you learn. I probably made, I think we ended up selling that. Now we're fast forwarding through everything, right? I think we built that company up and probably sold it for $100 and something million. I probably got 20 million of that.
100 and something million. And you got 20. So if they did this all by their lonesome, they would have had a fat load of money.
Or less. Out of $100 something million. And the entire sale was based on baby fat, which you could look at the date, because when we sold it, there was
Fat Farm and then Baby Fat. So Baby Fat was her part of the brand. Okay.
Fat Farm was obsolete. Mm-hmm. It was still there, but that was not what you were selling it for.
I'm gonna give you that. Afterwards, it was Fat Farm, but they were kind of like, to me, back in the 1999, they were trying to push Fat Farm, and I was like, I didn't get it. Fat Farm? I didn't get it. Maybe it's an American thing. Maybe it means something in America. I didn't get what it meant, Fat Farm. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna click through this and go and watch my music videos. Didn't buy into the brand, didn't care much for it. It was the first thing that came up when you went to the Def Jam website in the late 90s. It would have Def Jam on one side, Fat Farm on the other. And they were trying to push that as much as possible into your face.
You're selling it for baby fat.
But baby fat, I think she came up with the baby fat side of the fat farm, and that did incredibly well.
I only learned this because people would tell me like, oh, you have to come to work today. We're having this meeting with these bankers. We're going to sell.
Let's have a look now. Let's have a look. Russell Simmons is clapping back after his ex-wife, Kimora Lee, recently opened up about relaunching the baby fat brand. She claims she doesn't believe she owned enough of the company in the early days, as she revealed how she only made a fraction of the sale, 20 million. That's still a lot. Baby fat first launched in 1999, and in 2004 it sold for a reported 140 million, and value reported by the New York Times. In January 2004, reported that Elwood, one of the country's largest clothing producers, bought Fat Fashion and clothing business co-founded by Russell Simmons for 140 million, plus performances. I'm gonna read about this. Plus performances, Fat Farm and the women clothing line, Fat Farm 2010. Fat ceased operation, and in 2009, Kimora Lee required the brand in 2023. Kimora Lee relaunched it in 2000s. Relaunched the 2000 brand. 1 of 2 years later, Kimora Lee opened up about her baby fat relaunch and some of the business moves she encouraged in the early 2000s. She shared her comments on April 2007. Okay, she was with him shooting in the gym. Fat Farm, here wifey, take that baby fat. You didn't give her anything if she didn't own it. You paid her for the endorsement.
And I'm like a little confused, but a little excited.
What did you miss when you sit down now, because you're an incredible businesswoman and you've been that not just for yourself, but also for your family. So what did you miss going back in that time?
I missed all of the preliminary conversations. I missed all of the conversations about how great the brand was, all of the numbers that were turned in, all of the numbers on the business.
You weren't paying attention.
No, not that I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't privy to the fact that these businesses took place. It was literally, who of my partners then do we know now? So Bobby Shriver was one of my partners. He's my kid's godfather. He's a Kennedy. Bobby Shriver was one. I'm telling on folks today. Leo Cohen was one.
Oh yeah, we all know Leo.
Like, I mean, we can go through these partners of who they were, and you could. I don't know how much of this is public and how much is not. The number that we sold it for is public. You can deduct my amount and see the amount that was left.
Yeah.
And there was a few other partners that were more like Garmentos and people that you might not know their name. But the reason I say those names is because these names have gone on in politics and gone on in music and gone on to do these things. So they definitely knew what they were doing. And they were much older than me, right? Leo must be
way older than you.
Or anyone like that. They were 20 years older than me, 15 years older than me.
What was it like mentally and emotionally? Because I think you sold the company around 2010. And to me, the baby fat name was synonymous with Kimora Lee. Like, I thought, baby fat. Like, that's how we put it together.
Well, I remember when I did my first show, and it was like this, like Aspire with Emma Greed, and it was baby fat.
Yes.
And I came in to look, and this was when I probably had DJ Cassidy or Ronson. We were going through the music, and I looked up, and it said baby fat. And I'm like, oh. And I was like, it should say by Kimora Lee Simmons. And that was the logo, but it wasn't up on that wall. From that time forward, we had it. It made like a big deal. Yeah. I learned to kind of take my seat at the table, if you would, right? Don't you talk about that all the time? And so it wasn't that I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention so well. It was the fact that I wasn't privy to some of this information. Also because of the way that it started. The way that I started was under Fat Farm. And that's a key point because everybody's always like, well, if she didn't have that.
What I was saying, I can't remember too much. I remember Fat Farm. 100% remember Fat Farm, but I didn't remember Baby Fat. But I remember Baby Fat was there once I clicked into it. And it was like a woman's section of it. That's what I remember.
And she wouldn't have had the rest. And that's fair to say, but it's what did I do once I got my foot in the door? That no one did for me. But sometimes I learned, and this is another trick of the game, being in that room. It's not always that you got a chance to be in the room and be the biggest light and the biggest mouth and the brightest thinker. And I'm talking then. 30 years ago in a room full of men and bankers and people that say, this is great. We're going to sell this. You're going to get all this money. I didn't get all this money, but do you know who got all this money? Was my husband. And at that time I was told and I was raised and taught that that was good enough. My husband getting it was the same as me getting it, but it wasn't. And I did not learn that until later when other things started happening. And I said, oh, you know what? I don't want to be here. I want out. Can I stand on my own 2 feet? Well, I built this and that. I did this. My kids. Well, no. You got this much of that. You got this much of that. When you start to go and look at things and try to split them up or get your business fairness, that's when you realize it's a little different. And it's different having a business and having a marriage.
Exactly.
It's different having a business and having a relationship. It's different having a business and you're single, but you're sleeping with someone on the board. You know, there's many different kinds of things. I had a business, which was my first child. Then came Ming. And I had a husband. And my husband was like a bigger than life force at the time, right? In his own right, in terms of like music and everything that they were doing, being the godfather of hip hop. So you kind of learn to take a seat, even if that seat was kind of shotgun. And sometimes it was the back seat.
And this woman is telling the truth a bit, because the Fat Farm brand, it did really take off more than the baby fat. No, I'm saying. Yeah, I got confused there. The baby fat part took off more than the Fat Farm, because she was an attractive lady. She still is, and the women's section of that really took off. I'm not gonna lie about that. And yeah, Russell Simmons. I mean, I thought he was retired off the money years ago. I thought he was set for life, but I don't know where the money went, because he's sitting down there and he's saying that his wife took all the money and scammed him. I don't know what Russell Simmons is on about, but who knows? Who knows? But since she's saying she got scammed, I mean, you get 20 million and all you did is show your face and model a couple of velour tracksuits with baby fat on it. You done well for 20 million. That's all she did, really. She popped up in the Jay-Z video at one point, changed clothes. And I thought that was weird as well. I was like, man, isn't that Russell Simmons' girl? And then ain't no more than 2 or 3 years later, man, she's like, I'm divorcing that little ass looking dude. I'm out of here. You know, all these women, they all seem to be dating these old men. Russell Simmons, when Russell Simmons was dating her, she was young and he was old. Let's see what people say in the comments. Russell could have built the brand using Tyra Banks or any other face. She has always been a delusional and ungrateful. This woman is dumb. She killed the brand with her own delusional stupidity. Did she kill the brand? About 2008, 2010, there was like a recession. So a lot of these brands and clothing lines, which they were making in like these off-sea sweatshops, they couldn't survive. You look at something like Sean John. He said he was like 40 million in the hole, so he sold that. Rockefeller sold as well. Rockaware, they sold that as well. Fat Farm sold. They're all selling them up because they couldn't afford. No one was buying clothes, and they couldn't afford to keep the production going because they weren't selling any clothes. So Diddy sold Bad Boy, or Sean John clothing, and Jay-Z sold Rockefeller clothing, and then Russell sold the Fat Farms. It all makes sense. This is when the time when everyone was having real problems financially when it came to sales. And what happens? I think Diddy he bought back the Sean John clothing after he sold it, and then she's trying to do the same thing with the baby fat. So she's trying to relaunch that, but I think that the environment's a lot different now. At that time, they had a way of like, I remember these hip hop fashion shows. You see, like a lot of people, they had ways of marketing this to the hip hop fan base. And now things have changed. Everything's different. It's like everything's online, everything's live streamers. So if you want to get a brand known, you have to be down with the live stream. You can't just have a website and blast it in their faces, or go on BT and do a little fashion show, or have your favorite rapper like LL Cool J wear FUBU or something like that. You really need to be out there with the live stream. You have to say, Kai Cenat, wear this on your live stream, and people are like, well, what's that? That's what's gonna have to happen. Oh yeah, man, these people need to up their game and figure out how things are now, because you can't just relaunch something in this current environment that's like it was in the 1990s, 1999. Ain't gonna work. That's why this woman's delusional, but also delusional that, yeah, Russell Simmons kind of put her into the place where she is. If it wasn't for Russell, she wouldn't be where she is. Maybe she might have found some other rich guy to hang off of, who knows? But she found Russell, and he was the right rich dude at the right time for her. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'm out.